I think it's just so important to just make sure all your music is honest and as good as it can be. So it was kind of like trying to balance that the whole time.
Dermot Kennedy is in the house. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, very good.
Nice. Let's talk about your album. You have released it in January.
Yeah, it was basically like every song I've brought out so far plus one more. I have like a couple of EPs and a couple of singles, so I wanted them all to be in one place. The real debut album is going to come out later this year, but that just felt like a good thing to do to kind of get everything together.
Connect, yeah. On your Instagram profile, there are sentences, I'm an English songwriter trying to make art and live well.
Irish,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like an awesome life, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the most important thing is to try and just everything that kind of gets released that has my name on it has to be the best it can be, yeah.
Yeah. You got your first guitar at the age of 11, and you wrote your first song with 15. So was it always your dream to become a professional musician?
Yeah. It kind of, it was just something that as I kind of grew up and when I was like 16, 17, and I went to college then to study classical music, and while I was there I kind of realized that this was definitely what I wanted to do.
Do you remember your first song? Can you sing it?
I couldn't sing it, but I do know what it was. It wasn't very good. Yeah.
But what's it about?
Nothing much, because I was 15. I hadn't really had much life yet, so I didn't have much to write about.
What was the point when you recognized, okay, my childhood dreams can work out? So was it that one moment when you realized that, okay, I really can become...
No, I always believed it would work out. It's just... it just kind of depended on how long it took, you know, and I think the most important thing is just that no matter how well it was going or how bad it was going, I'd always be writing songs, like no matter what, whether it's a career or not, I still would have done it, and I think that's the most important thing.
Is it the life now you ever dreamed of? So is it that great, or are there some points you now think, okay, I shouldn't have known this before?
Yeah, there's stuff I wasn't aware of before, but I mean, such a huge part of my life now is playing shows all over the world, and that's kind of what I always dreamed of doing. So it's this really beautiful thing where I kind of just get to play these songs I wrote in front of lots of people, and it's just, like there are certain things that I didn't predict maybe, or that I wasn't sure were going to happen, but it's all good.
For example?
I'm not sure. Just even like over time, like, and like, say for example, like we played to like 2,000 people in New York, which is a really big deal in my mind, but then you just play the show and then you're straight on the bus and you go to Toronto or Nashville or Boston or wherever it is. So like you don't get time to really like recognize those moments and sort of live in them. Sometimes it's kind of like something you just have to do it and then move on.
You have so many great songs, but there's this one big hit like Power Over Me. Did you immediately know when you wrote the song or when you sing it in the studio, okay, this is it, this is the one big thing, all the radio stations will playing it all the time? No, I didn't know at the time. No, I was just kind of doing my thing and doing what I kind of wanted to do. It like, I know I've got songs that are like 6 minutes, and so that won't be the one, which is fine. But then those are some of my favorite songs. And then with this one, it just started to kind of take that shape. And for me, with that song, I just wanted it to sound a certain way, but also I didn't want to compromise in any way. I didn't want to like make a song just to try and like get it on the radio and stuff like that, because I think it's just so important to just make sure all your music is honest and as good as it can be. So it was kind of like trying to balance that the whole time. Yeah. I was listening to your music, and on some songs I was like, oh man, this song could be a part of the first Bon Iver album, for example. Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Has Bon Iver some kind an influence on your music?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that's like, he's my favorite, basically. Really? Yeah, for sure. And so I think it was always going to come through. But I think he's the type of artist that's so unique and so great that like I would never try and replicate that. If I ever try and kind of be like him in any way, it's just to sort of in performances to be as honest as possible and to be as emotional as possible. I think that's one way that I can try and be like him. But like in terms of music, yeah, if it's ever similar, then like if anyone ever feels like it's a similar sort of thing, then that's exciting for me. But I wouldn't do it on purpose. But
that's a cool bridge, because my favorite song of yours is After Rain.
Oh, okay.
Really, when I listened to the first time, I was mad that the lyrics are so fucking deep. The way you play the guitar is so special in any way. And I don't know if it's the word, the right word, but you're suffering a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Is it easy for you to write this kind of songs, sing the songs where you show the world your deepest thoughts, your soul?
It's not easy, and like if you're kind of touring all the time and you play like 100 shows in a year, or like 150 even, then you can kind of find that like after say 4 nights in a row of like sort of like giving your all every time, it can be quite tiring mentally, and even be quite like, it's a lot, to kind of experience that every night. But then it also feels really good, like if you have a really crap day, that you can go out and just like let loose with that song and get rid of those bad feelings. It feels great. So it's kind of somewhere in between. But I think if you want everybody who's in the crowd to kind of believe you and to feel like you're singing about something real, then you have to kind of just actually go there and do it properly. Yeah.
And when you write After Rain, for example, do you have it in your mind? So I will sing the song in front of thousands of people, or in this moment are you just at yourself and you have to write it down because it's
it's just me. Yeah, it's just me. Yeah, I mean, you obviously dream of those things, but in that moment, like I wrote that song a long time ago, so when I wrote it, it really felt like the type of thing that just hopefully someday it's loads of people, but right now it's just myself. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about another topic, about the Brexit.
Yeah.
So you're from Ireland, so you're not directly confronted with it because Ireland will stay in the EU, but all around Ireland there's a big chaos.
Sure.
So on this point, where nobody knows how this story ends, what are your wishes how this never-ending story Brexit should end? Because I don't know, we're on a point where nobody knows how it,
Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, like especially the people I kind of like I'm all, like the place in England where I'm always at is London, and the people I'm always around are like artists and producers and musicians and stuff. So I'm only ever really around people who didn't want Brexit in the first place. And it's kind of like for me, say if I go to America with the whole Trump thing, like I'm always generally in New York or LA, and it's artists, and so they generally didn't want that to happen either. And so for me as an artist, it's like I spend a lot of time in London and I go there a lot, and also when we tour, there's like 10 or 12 of us and 8 people are from England. And so even if we have a show in Germany or in France or Copenhagen or wherever, it's like that could become really difficult for us now if Brexit does happen. And so like obviously like my point of view within it isn't a very big deal, but for me personally, it's not a good thing. And then in terms of Ireland, I feel like between Ireland and Northern Ireland, it's like if that becomes a hard border again, that's not a good thing. And there's a lot of business people who travel over and back the border every day, and so yeah, it just feels like.
Are you afraid of it, that the Northern Ireland conflict will come back like it was in the past?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a long way off. I think thankfully that's like a long way in the past. You never know, but I mean, I would imagine not. I think we've kind of moved on too much from that. But yeah, I mean, it's still a step backwards, you know? So yeah, it certainly doesn't feel like a good thing.
All right, then let's come back at the end back to your music. Like Bonnie Ware, he has a big progress in his style of music. So there was first this guitar-based music, and now it's this electronic music. Do you have any plans for your future? Like, are you saying to yourself, okay, in 10 years, I want to change my style of playing music? Or are you so happy with it now because you found this style that you will keep it?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I think it's always good to change. And even for me as a Bon Iver fan, like I sometimes have listened to their album for the first time and not liked it. It's taken like a few times for me to get into it. And so he's constantly changing and like pushing himself. And for me, even when I started out, it was just acoustic. That's all I wanted it to be. I just wanted it to be like straight up like singer-songwriter music. And so even for me now to like bring in things like hip hop beats and production feels like a big development in itself. So I'll probably change it again over time, yeah, but I'm happy where I'm right now, yeah.
Cool. I'm so grateful that you were here.
No, thank you.
All the best for you to your future, for your future.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Hier übrigens das Video mit Alice Merton, hier ist das Video mit Mark Forster und hier, ganz wichtig, der Kanal zum Abonnieren. Das solltet ihr schleunigst tun. Ey, ich fühle mich wie so ein krasser YouTube-Star. Nimm das, Bibi. Fertig?